I honestly started the second half of this year pissed off at the world.
Hey guys, did you miss me?
Usually when summer arrives, I'm feeling excited, but this year that was not the case.
Let's go.
My life was in flux in so many ways that I had no choice but to surrender to the flow or risk being swept away. I began nurturing a mindset that allowed me to make it through some of the most stressful times of my life, and I've learned a lot. I released so much and chose to only focus on a few core things to maintain my sanity and ultimately make it through the craziest year of my life ever.
Hi, editing Taryn here. I just wanted to say really quickly that you'll notice that I'm looking down a lot in this video, and that's because I've started scripting my videos in order to try to help me get them out more consistently in the new year. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. I'm new to it. I'm working on it, but just enjoy it and carry on.
So why was I feeling so angry? Ooh, anger. That's a tough word for me to swallow as a type 1 wing to Enneagram. Any Enneagram folks out there? Anger is not a bad thing. It's just an emotion we feel. Anyway, I was angry because I was feeling overwhelmed by the changes at work and my schedule, by all the upcoming events I had committed to, just like feeling angry about my premeditated exhaustion. The fuck? All of my financial obligations tied with all the upcoming events, wedding planning, and then all of that kind of battled against feeling strapped for time to make content. Because I was feeling that way though, I was really intentional about sticking with the commitments that filled my cup and letting go of what seemed draining. I started out the month traveling to Texas for my annual family kind of reunion, I guess. And traveling to visit them always fills my cup. They are an amazing time. They even threw me a surprise bridal shower while I was there. It was really sweet and really thoughtful. And they always love a good turn up. I thought I might vlog this trip, which is why I have so much footage to show you here. But I kind of just like let go of that obligation, if you will. And now I just have memories to look back on, and that's good too. After that trip, it was on to wedding number 2 of the year. This is funny, and I don't think I ever actually spoke these words to her, so Baina, if you're watching this, you can laugh now too, inside joke. I did not know that I was going to be a bridesmaid in this wedding until maybe like the month before. I knew she was getting married, we talked about the wedding. I knew I was on what she was calling the bride squad, but I didn't know like what that meant in terms of my obligations. I knew I was going to get a particular dress, which kind of clued me into the bridesmaid thing. But leave it to Baina to have such a beautiful summer wedding and do it in her own unique way. And it really reminded me of the excitement around my own wedding and just like the control I have over the day and making it beautiful. This was also my reminder that like, girl, you got 4 months till the wedding, are you ready? Like, look at all the things she has to do, are you ready? Stress. So as I mentioned earlier, I was still capturing content, but I wasn't necessarily burdening myself with a timeline for sharing it or producing any particular types of content. So as you can see, I have lots of footage to share, but didn't really do anything with it, or at least not yet. And that kind of led me to feeling guilty of, I guess, the coping mechanism I fell into this month. As I moved to August, my birthday month, I was feeling guilty about the areas of my life I let slip, like working out, my sleep schedule, creating content. I let go of areas that I knew were going to be important to me in my long term for my short term like demands, essentially. But because August is my birthday month and I tend to find myself a bit more motivated around that time of year, I knew I could count on my future Taryn to smash through all of the guilt I was feeling and get some shit done. I will say this is also the time I discovered the Corn Kid, and I probably watched his videos a gazillion times.
It's cold.
So cute. But just because it was my birthday doesn't mean that the wedding pressure wasn't on. We had 2 months to go. Had to figure out what the groomsmen were wearing. I had my first dress fitting, and Vashon and I even snuck in a little engagement shoot since we hadn't done one since we very first got engaged, and that was like 2 years ago at that point. So we wanted to I wanted to update our portfolio a little bit and have some extra photos for our wedding weekend. On top of all the wedding tasks, we also attended wedding number 3 of the year, for a couple of our coworkers. This wedding was stunning. The theme for the summer was definitely very much getting back to nature and our roots, because this wedding in Lake Tahoe was chef's kiss. I was loving all of the rustic vibes. It was very charming. And then we ended things with my birthday, and we kept it pretty low-key, as one does when you turn 31, I guess. I wasn't feeling much like doing too much because I had spent all my energy on other things, and at this point, whenever there's something for me to choose what to do, it often includes rest, because that's just where I'm at these days. With all of August's motivation and my birthday past, September, I wasn't feeling so motivated. The wedding tasks were building, and I had no choice but to surrender to the flow or risk being completely swept away. This is when I decided to basically release and let go from anything that didn't have an immediate consequence, like beyond the next day, maybe 2 days. Beyond that, I kind of saw nothing, or at least I took on the stress of nothing. My plan was, does it affect today, Taryn? What about tomorrow, Taryn? Then keep it pushing. If the task or the stress doesn't move the needle on something that I need in the next 48 hours, let go and let God. One of the main things I learned is that like literally nothing matters except for what I give attention to. And so I chose to give attention to things, like I said, that filled my cup and that were a part of the commitments I had made to other people. I snuck in another influencer event this year with Shandon and the Sip. Shout out to Black-owned businesses. I had breakfast with some of the girls from FUBU to talk about life and just being a Black woman. I even got to make some DIY art with Rashawn for the apartment. I think you can see it up there. And then ended the month with another bachelorette, baby. We was wild out here. San Diego was a time. It was a time. I was tired, but that shit was lit. That shit was lit. Do not count out Arizona, apparently. So by October, I was gassed, as you might have imagined. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I still had pretty far to go in this race. Some of the bigger wedding pieces still hadn't been solidified, like our videographer. Yes, you heard me. Videographer, okay? And all the other little details that you can like put off to the end, well, this was the end. So all of those were due as well. So there was a lot going on there with the timeline shortening. And then at work, I put a lot of time into the start of the school year. And by this point, I would say the oh no fear of a new job had kind of worn off. And so that source of motivation had worn off as like my extra push when I needed to get something done. And that's not to say that I was phoning anything in. I think I just am an above and beyond kind of person. When I'm in it, I'm all the way in, and I know when it's 80 versus 100, right? So I could just feel that, and that was making me feel a little guilty. We also had wedding number 4. Yes, y'all are gonna hear a wedding every month. Wedding number 4 of the year for my birthday twin and former teammate. It was a beautiful wedding out in Sacramento. And then I ended things with, you guessed it, some more influencer stuff to fill my cup by shooting with Lori and Emily Kim again. Your girl is really a model, a tired ass model. Because I was feeling so tired, I was feeling grumpier and grumpier when it came to wedding talk. I was very much at decision fatigue, and I was extremely over people asking me,
"Are you ready?"
Because what am I supposed to say to that? What am I supposed to say to that? Because the answer is always I have a zillion things to do, but thanks for asking. And because my job requires the same kind of Q&A style dialogue on a regular basis, I was just kind of like, over it. Because those were like the 2 main things filling up my life. And even when I filled my cup by doing other things, I feel like I was always immediately brought back to reality, and it was really hard to stay in the moment. For real though, shout out to the real MVPs of wedding season. My sister, who planned a bomb-ass bachelorette for me in Tulum with my closest friends. It was literally a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I still get flashbacks. Like, pinch me, it was beautiful there. I don't care who you are. You gotta get to Tulum at least once. I'm definitely gonna have a vlog about all the info here that my sister found, because again, she planned it. She's the GOAT. And then of course, my other MVP, my mother. Even though she was the #1 helper on my nerves the entire way, the wedding would not have happened without her, literally. We sat still for like a whole year during the pandemic, and this woman just found us wedding planners to help us get on track, and then some. I'm rambling, but I was in big wedding feelings at this point, and luckily the excitement was building too. So we've reached November. It is the final countdown to the week off and my wedding. Even if none of the small details were perfect, all the big pieces had been solidified by this point, and I was actually feeling a lot better about the entire wedding day. Because I'll be doing a whole wedding series vlog, I don't want to give too much away here, but just know our wedding was lit. People to this day are still making it a point to tell us that they had so much fun at our wedding. I can't wait till the rest of the photos are here too. This has really been the craziest year of my life, and the wedding really made me feel like I went out with a bang. December almost seemed fake. After all of the planning and spending and attention, you'd expect rest and settling into my new home. But as any educator knows, this is busy season. I even had to work a whole extra week more than I thought I was going to, partially from home, which is nice, but and did I mention wedding number 5? yeah, and I was in this one. Gorgeous. But yeah, like I said, just fake. December was fake. Yeah, just fake. But if the year of the wedding has taught me anything, it's to just go with the flow and take things day by day, or risk drowning in the negative thoughts about the future. And because I chose to embrace the day-to-day in December, I was managing to give whatever energy I had to things I didn't really want to do. And all of my energy to the little things that bring me joy or make me feel on top of my life. Because ultimately, I like to feel in control of my life, and a big part of that is personal growth and self-improvement for me. This year reminded me mentally, spiritually, financially, that I have a say in where my energy goes. And just like most of us, I am not immune to the end of year race to build a better me. So if you take nothing away from this video, take these 2 things. Mindset is everything. The more power you give to something in your life, the more control it has. This is made worse when you focus on things that are literally out of your control. So take the time to focus on the things in your control and take action where you can. Second, community is worth it. I could have said no to all the milestones and life events I attended this year to focus on myself. But instead, I got to fill my cup and be present for others in ways that will be memorable to all of us for a lifetime. And I don't think I'd trade that for the extra sleep or whatever I could have gotten had I chose to do something else. Before I end the video with all the YouTuber stuff like and subscribe, follow me on my social media platforms, etc. In case you missed the first half of the year recap video and want to learn more about how we got here, check out my previous life updates video. It's also a good one to watch because I go over my 4 core goals for the year. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, and don't forget to be a pineapple.